Convicted child kidnapper and molester has been granted parole in California under the state's controversial elderly parole program. This after a judge described him as a monster his parents feared the most. David Funston was sentenced to 3 life sentences after he was convicted of attacking 8 children in Sacramento County in the 90s.
No, that's as simple as that. If he came up from on my parole list, nah, he just don't tell him to go back.
The sheriff.
There are some folks that deserve a second chance in life. Someone that does these type of things, they don't deserve a second chance in life. What are we coming to as a society here in California? That it's okay with this, to let him out. What in the hell is going on in California? 100%, what is happening in our state? This cannot happen, it's not okay.
California Congressman Kevin Kiley represents part of Sacramento County. He joins us now. Congressman, thanks so much for joining the program. The governor of the state, Gavin Newsom, released this statement to us. He said the Board of Parole hearings is an independent agency made this decision. The governor asked the BPH to re-review its decision. The governor doesn't agree with the outcome. He wants to call it an independent agency, but he appointed these people.
Well, not only
you're mad about the decision, but you're the one who appointed him?
that, I mean, this idea, oh, I had nothing to do with this. Number one, he signed the law that made this individual eligible for release. And number two, this is his parole board that recommended his release. I mean, this is an individual who was described at his sentencing hearing by the judge as the monster that parents fear most. The judge said there is no man on earth that is deserving of this sentence as you. He got 3 life sentences. He had 16 counts of kidnapping and child molestation. He had at least 8 victims, ages 4 to 7, that he would lure to his car using candy and toys. He would kidnap them, abuse them, molest them, leave them on the side of the road. So this is absolutely horrifying.
Here's one.
And this is the man they let get parole? This is the stereotype or the thing we teach our kids about, telling them if a man comes up to you in a van with some candy, don't go. 4 to 7? Ah, man, this is... What are these people thinking? That is the main... What are these people thinking? 3 life sentences? Absolutely.
The victims.
I have nephews and nieces, and that I'm concerned about. If this man comes back to Sacramento, this is where my family's at. This is where I'm from. Wow. So if he gets out, who knows if he'll do it again. I was told that he fantasizes still about, children and stuff. Like, why would you let this man out if this is what this man is saying? When he gets out, how do you not know if he will continue? He's a serial sex offender.
I mean, the guy rapes children and then he smiles in his mugshot. I mean, is this someone that we want back on the street?
Well, of course not. And it is a reckless law that we have in California, this so-called elderly parole law. I was actually in the legislature when this passed. I voted against it. It was bipartisan opposition to it. It allows for even the most vile offenders, if they're over the age of 50, to be released from prison early. And there was bipartisan opposition to that.
50? That's near. Now, if you would have said like 90, all right, 90 years old, okay, I can understand it. I can think about that situation, but 50? 50, they still got strength at 50. They can still move around at 50. Some people who make our laws are stupid and maybe even ignorant human beings. Let's keep going.
By the way. So I'm calling for the reversal of this reckless law, as well as others in California that have let tens of thousands of serious criminals out of prison early under Gavin Newsom's watch. And we're also calling for this individual in particular to be committed under a civil procedure known as the sexually violent predator process.
We'll be following it. I just hope the voters understand when they talk about Newsom's good hair and good oratory skills, this is the guy that signed this into law. Congressman.
Absolutely crazy. Let's go over to the next video just to get another more information.
A judge in Sacramento described him, and I'll say this, as the monster parents fear most. Yet today, the parole board decided he is suitable for release. We can't have this.
So Sacramento Sheriff Jim Cooper talking after David Allen Funston was granted elderly parole, which is under a California law. We'll explain that in a moment. He was convicted of 16 counts of kidnapping and child molestation, the case setting off alarms across California. There are now louder calls to overhaul the state's parole program. Sheriff Jim Cooper is with me now. And sir, good morning to you. So David Allen Funston, age 64, kidnapping and child molestation, 16 counts, sentenced to 3 consecutive terms of 25 years to life, and then an additional 20 years after that. But you've got this law passed in 2018 that anyone who has served 25 years in prison, is age 60 or older, is eligible for parole. Then you came back, your state did rather, in 2021, 3 years later, and took it from age 60 to age 50. And now this is what you're left with, Sheriff.
I'm losing faith in the judicial system in some of these places. So first, it doesn't matter about the crime, and then you let them out at 60. But then 3 years later, you would come back and be like, nah, that's 60 is a little much. Let's bring it down to 50. Making them more spry.
Make sense of it.
It doesn't make any sense at all. Think about this. Retirement age for Social Security is 62. Most people work in their 60s and 70s. And why is he being released? And it's what is the moral compass for the parole board in allowing this? I've read the same report they did. The things he did to these kids, ages 3 to 8, are horrific. It can never be undone.
Well, he said this to the LA Times, Sheriff. This is what he told commissioners, excuse me. He acknowledged that he ruined the lives of his young victims and that pedophilia is a lifelong condition that he would be dealing with. I worked so hard on managing my behavior and practicing my urge control plan, end quote. What
plan? This man was in a jail with a bunch of men. What you mean he was practicing his control? Ain't no little kids running around. And he even admitted that pedophilia is a lifelong thing that he's dealing with. Nah, leave him in jail.
did it take for him to convince that board that he should walk and live among the community again?
It's called playing the game. You're in prison. You have nothing else to do other than convince him to change. I want to read you some excerpts from the report. This is a victim's testimony. Her statement, she's 3 years old. She was abducted in front of her aunt's house. Took her to his house where he bathed her and took her clothes off. He then assaulted her, put a knife through her throat, and told her if she told anyone, he would kill her. He had Barbie dolls and toys in the house, dropped her off back at the house and told her again, if you tell anyone, I'll kill you. Another 7-year-old girl he took her 50 miles away, sexually assaulted her in the car. When she refused to advance, he punched her in the face, threw her out of the car with no shoes on. 50 miles away, a 7-year-old girl. Then a 4-year-old boy, same thing, took him in the bushes, sexually assaulted him, gave him toys, and then let him go. That 4-year-old boy picked him out of a photo lineup 30 years ago. This man's a monster. He should not be allowed out.
I read that he would lure children inside of his home with candy. Can you?
Monster. There are demons who walk among us, and they're letting this man out.
Do anything here?
Yes. There's something going on right now. There's a couple of bills in the legislature, and I think because of the public outcry and outrage that's going on, I think you may see some movement in the legislature. It's an election year, and I'm down in Southern California with 57 other sheriffs, and we're all upset about it. We're all angry. It has to change. We have to put victims first and stop putting these suspects in front.
Yeah,
I'm
thinking, ankle monitor, something. Give your community a chance. Why do you think California went this route? Was it trying to empty jails?
That's what it comes down to. Some folks want no accountability. They don't want anybody held in jail. And right now, the only folks in jail are the serious violent offenders, including child molesters. And what really rubbed me wrong, even prisoners, inmates, have a code of conduct. They hate child molesters. They will try and kill them themselves. So why is this parole board that's unelected, that doesn't report to anybody, making these decisions? And then also, how many more folks like Mr. Funston have been released already? We have no idea.
Wow, great question.
Absolutely great question. How many more people who can't help themselves And our child predators, did they release off of this law, letting them go at 50 just because they old? No matter the crime, just because they old. One more video, y'all, and then we'll go into the AI breakdown.
This man is being called a monster. He was convicted of 16 counts of abducting and molesting children. Now he's being released on parole, and his victims, including this woman, are furious. She spoke with Stephen Fabian.
There is growing outrage over a serial child predator who is about to be released.
We're talking children as young as 3.
And the parole board thinks now he deserves to be walking the streets.
I'm disgusted and I'm shocked.
David Allen Funston was convicted of 16 counts of kidnapping and child molestation in Sacramento in 1999. Now gray-haired, he's the man a judge called the monster parents fear the most. Funston was sentenced to 3 consecutive terms of 25 to life. But now, after 27 years behind bars, he's been granted what's known in California as elderly parole. He's now 64 years old. The parole board cited Funston's therapy work and sex offender treatment classes he completed behind bars. They said they did not believe Funston posed a significant danger. I spoke to one of Funston's victims, who was 4 years old when he lured her into his car with a Barbie doll. She says she can't have children as a result of what he did to her. How does it feel knowing this man who did this to you could soon be released from prison?
That's not right. That's not okay. That's injustice. Where's the justice at?
What goes through your mind when you see his mugshot and you see him almost smiling in that mugshot?
That makes me disgusted. It's like a slap in the face.
Prosecutor Anne-Marie Schubert helped put Funston behind bars. Do you worry that if he gets out, he could do something like this again?
Oh, no doubt about it. That's one of the biggest fears, I think. I'm afraid for the community because of the danger that he presents.
Now, okay, here's a question. If he goes out, if they let him out and he commits a crime, is the parole board who let him out going to take that charge for him? They're going to take it with him? This is crazy. And they said they don't believe him just because he did some sex offender treatments. He ain't going to commit crimes. This man is this man's a monster. They said ages 3 to 7. 3 to 7? And look at him smiling. He know he's happy. Man, oh my God. Let's go over to the AI breakdown, y'all. Jeez. So as we know, in February, a serial predator, David Allen, was granted parole in California, spreading widespread national outrage. Now 64 and was convicted in 1999 of 16 counts of kidnapping and child molestation. During a crime spree in mid-1990s, he targeted children as young as 3 to 7, often using candy and toys to lure them into his vehicle. He was originally sentenced to more than 20 plus 3 consecutive life sentences. The parole reason he was released, which was approved by California's elderly parole program, which allowed inmates who are at least 50 years old and have served 20 consecutive years to be eligible for a suitable hearings. Governor Gavin Newsom expressed his disagreement with this. The sheriff and former prosecutors of the MU described him as a monster. So to prevent his release into the public, authorities and victims advocates are calling for Funston to be designated as a sexual violent predator. If successful, he will be transferred to a state hospital for indefinite civil confinement instead of being freed. I mean, I guess that's the best they can do. The controversial has renewed support for SB 112 1278, a proposed bill that would exclude violent sex offenders from state elderly parole. Why? That should be obvious. At least to me, that should be obvious. Craziness, y'all. This is the world we live in. Absolute craziness. Now, let me know your thoughts. And let me know if you disagree with anything I said. Now, my friend, you said he should be released. I think you're trolling. I hope you're trolling. Or are you saying he should be released? I don't even know why you're saying he should be released. Everyone who even thought about releasing him should be put in jail. It's a crazy world. Craziness. Mm-mm. There's nothing I can say. There are some people out here who deserve to rot in jail for the rest of their lives. Yes, people can change, but it I don't matter if you change. The crime is already done. You committed something that just has landed you in jail for the rest of your life. And you got to accept that. Craziness. Absolute crazy situation, y'all. Absolutely crazy. But like I said, let me know your thoughts on that situation. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said.